Hi, by this Madmaxed again with another raid video. Guys, please remember to hit that little red subscribe button in the corner and subscribe to the channel. Give it a thumbs up if you like it. Leave me some comments. I'll try to get back to you. But I'm going to break down and go over Python and the fragments, what you're going to need to do to get him and all that in this video. Now, Python is going to be, and like I said in the other video, he's going to be a great healer. And he attacks one enemy. He's only got one attack. It attacks 2 times. It attacks one enemy. I don't know what the multiplier is, but his attack is very low for an attack-based champ, 870. But I probably wouldn't use him for that. I would probably put a lot of defense on him, a lot of speed. I would probably put a lot of HP on him, so he stays alive. So he's going to keep everybody else alive. He is a sport champ anyway. So he heals the lowest ally by 25% when you get him booked out of his max HP. So whoever's low, he's going to sit down. If you get him up to 80k, which is really doable, you should be able to get 20k heal on one of your lowest characters. Now, his A2 ability is an attack at all. It removes all debuffs from all allies and heals them by 10%, and it's going to be 30% of their max HP once you book him out. He's also going to heal each ally by an extra 5% of the max HP. So if you got 4 debuffs, he's going to restore 50% of their health. He's also going to place a block debuff on all allies for 2 turns. Now, that's a really good ability. Now, the next ability he's got, it's on a 4-turn cooldown. It revives all allies with 50% of the HP and 50% turn meter. Then it places a 25% strengthened buff on all allies for 2 turns. Now, from the way I read that, you're not going to have to revive them. It's just going to place the debuff. It's just going to place that 25% strengthened for 2 turns every 4 turns. That's a good ability also. Now, his passive, his allies receive 5% less damage from skills for each buff on them, and it stacks up to 25%. Now, that's pretty easy to do because, like, when I go into Doom Tower, and if I were to use him for the healer, and, you know, I've got, like, Bad Ale, he does all the poisons and stuff, but he also replaces, like, 2 continuous heals. Usually he will cycle through twice, and usually I've got like 4 of those up most of the time just by itself. And then with Arbiter throwing the increased attack and some of the other ones, it's pretty easy to keep 5 buffs stacked up on yourself. So you're going to take 25% less damage. And you know, you can tell a big difference in anybody that even does 15% less, especially like in clan balls. So, you know, you're looking at, you know, you need your decreased defense, your increased defense up, you need your increased attacks up, all this in clan boss anyway. So you can, like with Venom Mage, he does 15%, you can tell a huge difference. Well, this is going to be 25% less. And then plus all of his removing and the clan boss even throws one, after he gets into the color, he always throws up 1 buff on everybody, 1 debuff. So he's going to remove that. And so even in clan boss, you know, this, once you get him booked out, is going to give you a 35% heal on everybody, plus a block debuff for 2 turns. And so it's on a 3-turn cooldown. So if you get him fast, he's going to be able to cycle through the clan boss, and he should be able to remove the debuffs all the time for everybody. Now, he also has an increased resist in all battles by 60%. I mean, he should be a really good champion for his healing, keeping everybody alive. He's got 21k worth of hit points. I would tank him out. I'd put a lot of HP on him. I'd get him up to about 80k HP probably, because his attack is low anyway. His attack's only 870. I don't know what this attack is going to be like as far as damage yet, a multiplier, and it does hit twice, but that's the only attack he's got, and he has no AoE attack anyway. His defense is 1300, which is pretty good. His speed is 105, which is good. He's not going to need any accuracy. He doesn't have any debuffs, so I would put a resist banner on him. I'd get his resist up really high. I mean, you should be able to get his resist up over 300 and something, and that pretty easy. And that should make it where he's going to be able to go all the time with all of his heals, and he should be a really good champion. Now I'm going to break down exactly what we're going to need to do to get all the fragments and stuff. Okay, this is the chart of what's going to go on. Now, this is going to be really energy intensive to do all this. So you want to go in and you want to wait the first day about doing Ice Golem and the champion training. Now, the reason is because you're going to have Dungeon Diver come up the very next day. So all those artifacts that you're going to get out of Ice Golem tournament and then all of the champion training, and this is a lot of champion training. And by the time you do this champion training and by the time you do the Ice Golem, you should easily have the Dungeon Diver event done. The Classic Arena, it's never a big deal. I can usually do that the first day if you're in Gold 4 or Gold 5. And then you're going to have the Fire Night tournament, which is going to eat up some more energy, a couple thousand or so. And then your artifact enhancement, by the time you sell all this junk that you got from Ice Golem, Fire Night, and from the dungeon, and from the champion training, from going through and doing all those 12-3, you should have the coins to sit down and do this. Now, again, you're going to have the champion training coming up, and it's going to hit a few hours before the Dungeon Diver. I would wait till Dungeon Diver hit again, and I would do my champion training during that time, so it adds into this. And of course, your spotter is going to add into this too. And then you're going to have the artifact enhancement again, and then you're going to have the summon rush, and then you're going to have the classic arena again, which should be easy. Dragon tournament should be easy. And then the final event is the artifact enhancement that you're going to have. Now, this is the breakdown of where you're going to get your fragments at. There's 115 fragments total. So you can actually skip the Champion Chase tournament and you can still get this. But you would have to get all the 20 fragments out of the Summon Rush. Now, usually the Summon Rush is usually the hard one because it's based on like how many sacred shards you use, which gives you like 300. The voids give you like 150 or 120, somewhere around that. The blue shards only give you 20, and then the green shards give you 1. And so it's usually a lot of points. It's usually around 3,000-4,000 to finish this. So you've got to use a lot of fragments to be able to finish this thing. Get all 20 of those fragments. I don't know how it's going to be broken down. There's probably going to be a 5 and a 15 in there, like that. It's still usually a pretty good bit of points. But like if you can get 5 out of this and get the 15 out of the Champion Chase tournament, that's all you're going to need. If you can get all these, you can skip the Champion Chase tournament because there's enough fragments and all the other things. But you're going to have to finish up these champion training events, which is going to be the hard part because this is really energy intensive. It's really a big grind too. Now, the rest of it, the artifact enhancements, it's just a lot of coins. But you're going to get a lot of coins from doing all this champion training and all this, and all of these dungeons, because you have to do all 4 dungeons. These are not hard to do. You can put them on auto. Most of the time, you can do them in 2 days with just the autos, as long as your clan's got like 45 autos or so. These are not hard to get usually. These are pretty easy. The classic arena takedown isn't hard to do. If you're doing Gold 4, Gold 5, usually you can finish that up in about a day. So all of this is pretty doable. It's just energy intensive. It's a big grind. And like I said, it's just that 5 fragments that you're going to need from that Summon Rush if you can do the Champion Chase, or if you skip the Champion Chase and save all your shards for the Summon Rush. And it would be nice to know how many shards you're going to need for that Summon Rush. But, I don't remember from the last time. But, it's usually a good bit. And, it's usually around 4,000 or 5,000. And it's like 300 for the sacreds, which that's what gives you a lot of good points. The voids are the next. They give you like 120, 150. So if you got a lot of void shards laying around, you got a few sacred shards laying around, and you got a whole lot of green, like I do. There's like 2,000 of those things laying in there. But you're going to still need a lot more than that to pull this off. I mean, it's usually shard intensive. It's the idea is for you to have to sit down, spend a bunch of money on shards. So if you saved your shards and you got a lot of energy, this is pretty doable. So that's the breakdown on how to get all of this as far as that goes. Uh, I think he'll be a good champ if you're able to pull him, especially if you're having trouble in faction wars and you're having trouble with lizards. He should really help you out there. But that's the video, guys. Thanks for watching. Like I said, remember to subscribe. Leave me some comments. I'll get back to you, and everybody have a good day.